In this presentation, I want to talk about leadership styles. In previous parts of the module, we've talked about a team building framework and how part of a team building framework is to provide an enabling structure for your team. Well, part of the enabling structure is the culture of the team, how team members work together, and how you lead the team. So team leadership is very important to producing a structure and an environment where your team can succeed. A lot of it depends on how you lead. A carpenter needs to have many different tools in his toolbox. He can't use a saw to put screws into his cabinet, or he can't use a screwdriver to pound in nails, or at least he could try, but he wouldn't be very successful at it. There is a different tool for a different task. We have an idiom in English that says, "To the man who has only a hammer, every problem looks like a nail." If a leader only has one style to use, then every problem that he's going to encounter is going to seem to him to be requiring that particular leadership style. But just as a carpenter really needs many different kinds of tools to be able to do quality cabinetry work, so a leader is going to need a variety of different leadership styles to know how to use and to be comfortable using various different leadership styles to be able to lead in different situations. Daniel Goleman is the author of the material that I'm using for today's presentation, and he has said that leaders who have mastered 4 or more leadership styles, especially the authoritative, democratic, affiliative, and coaching styles, have the very best climate and business performance, and the most effective leaders switch flexibly among the leadership styles as needed. Well, in this quote, he has listed 4 of the 6 leadership styles that we're going to talk about. Overall, those leadership styles are a coercive leadership style, leading by force; an authoritative leadership style, which is leading with power; affiliative, leading through relationship; democratic, leading by agreement; pace setting, which is leading through example; and coaching, which is leading through advice. Now, Daniel Goleman is a leading psychologist in business psychology, and he talks about emotional intelligence. Just like you have IQ, or just your intelligence quotient, just how smart you are, there are also various different kinds of intelligence. You could have leadership intelligence, spiritual intelligence, sociological intelligence. There is also something called emotional intelligence. And what that reflects is the amount of awareness that you have to emotions and the relationship of emotions to the environment that you're in. This definition says, emotional intelligence is the ability to manage ourselves and our relationships effectively. It consists of 4 fundamental capabilities: self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and social skills. Let me break that down a little bit. Self-awareness involves things like being aware of your own emotions at any given time. Someone who is not aware of their own emotions will lose control of their emotions. They will become angry when anger is not appropriate. Or perhaps they won't be able to use anger when anger is an appropriate response. And it can be at times. Self-awareness also means being able to have an accurate self-assessment, not being too forgiving with yourself or too judging of yourself. There are times when you can go too far in either direction. We've seen too many leaders who don't put enough responsibility on their own shoulders for problems that exist. That's an example of not assessing their own contribution to a situation realistically. Another part of self-awareness is having self-confidence, a strong and positive sense of self-worth. Now, self-management involves things like self-control, being able to keep your emotions in check, to not go with every emotional impulse that you have. Trustworthiness is part of self-management. Conscientiousness, or being the ability to manage yourself and your responsibilities. Adaptability is part of self-management in emotional intelligence. Achievement orientation and taking initiative. Part of social awareness then means being aware not of your own feelings, but of the feelings of others. Empathy is an important part of emotional intelligence. Being able to understand, to relate to the feelings of others, to sense other people's emotions, and to take an active interest in their concerns. Organizational awareness is part of social awareness that involves being able to read the currents of organizational life, to be able to sense the morale of your team. Are people encouraged or discouraged? If a leader is not socially aware, they will miss some very important cues or clues that they shouldn't be ignoring, that will tell them how their team is doing. Having a service orientation is part of social awareness. The ability to recognize and meet the needs of your team members or your customers. Social skills involve things like visionary leadership, which is the ability to take charge and to inspire with compelling vision. Being able to use your influence effectively. Developing others. Communicating well. Knowing when it's appropriate to share information with others and when it's appropriate not to. Understanding the risks of not giving information to people who need to know it is part of the social skill element of emotional intelligence. Managing conflict, managing change, building trust and building bonds, building teamwork and collaboration. These are all part of the social skills element of emotional intelligence. It has been said that having a highly developed emotional intelligence is the most important part of a leader's skills. More than their public speaking ability, or more than their raw intelligence in the matter, or their ability to memorize facts. Emotional intelligence has been stated by many famous leaders as being the most important skill that a leader possesses. In another training module we've had recently on negotiation on the merits, principled negotiation, we've also talked there about how emotional intelligence is really important for a skilled negotiator, not to become flustered, but to be able to seek for the benefit of others. That requires emotional intelligence. Now I want to go through the 6 different styles one at a time and talk about when you might want to use this tool or when you don't want to. The coercive leadership style has a preferred method, which is basically to demand immediate obedience. The coercive style will tell the leader will tell the followers, just do what I tell you to do. They use reward and punishment as motivators. Their underlying emotional intelligence competency is a drive to achieve. This is a good thing. Initiative, self-control, ability to control others. These are positive things. And this kind of leadership style is best used in a crisis when very quick action is needed and the leader is confident that they know what the correct action is to get out of the crisis, or to kickstart a turnaround, or dealing with problem employees. Sometimes a coercive leadership style is needed in those situations. However, you must bear in mind that the overall impact on climate over long term will be a negative impact. A leader who uses the coercive style only is going to, like the man who only has a hammer, every problem looks like a nail. If you use the coercive style excessively, you will have a negative impact on your team's performance. We think of dictators as coercive leaders because dictators are best known for using this style and this style only. But the thing to remember is that the coercive style, if used all the time, the coercive style is like a heavy hammer. Sometimes you need a heavy hammer to drive in a nail, or sometimes you need to break something. If there is a pipe that is completely clogged, or you need to remove a wall, you need to use a hammer for that kind of thing. It is made to break things. But if you use a hammer in leadership situations that require gentleness, you don't want to use the coercive style. A heavy hammer has its uses, but it will break many things that are not meant to be used if you use it at the wrong time. The authoritative style is when a leader mobilizes people towards a vision, and he will say, "Come with me." He will speak compellingly. "Join me, come with me. We have this vision and we're going to go towards it." The underlying emotional intelligence competencies for the authoritative style are self-confidence, empathy, and being able to bring about change, to catalyze change. This style works best when change is required. We cannot stay the same, because if we stay the same, our project will go downhill. Change is required. We need a new vision. We need a clear and compelling direction. This is when you want to speak authoritatively. The authoritative style, overall, has a positive impact on the climate. It's most strongly positive leadership style because it appeals to people rather than controls or dominates people. I want to think of some examples of the authoritative style. The authority in the authoritative style can come from your position or your character. It may come because of your vast expertise, and it comes from your confidence. There's an expression that says all authority is derived. What that means is that authority comes from some higher authority. A simple policeman can have great authority because he gets his authority from the law. Now, if he's acting against the law, he won't be acting with authority then. So authority is not simply having the seat of prominence or a position of authority. Sometimes authority comes from other things as well. But leaders who know how to use authority, whatever its source, will be able to lead their people with the clearest vision of the best possible outcome for the future. The next style of leadership is the affiliative style of leadership. This leader's preferred method is to create harmony and build emotional bonds. Their style, encapsulated in a phrase, is people come first. They are people who use empathy, building relationships, and good, strong, positive communication. By communicating well, they bring people together. This kind of style is best used when there is a division or a rift in the team that needs to be healed, or during times of great stress, to motivate people by creating harmony, by drawing people together to work together. The overall impact on the climate of the team of this kind of style will be positive. The affiliative leader is a community builder who builds on shared values. And anytime you build on shared values, you strengthen the culture and the overall climate of the team. The democratic leadership style prefers to forge consensus through participation. This may look a little bit like the affiliative style, but there are some differences. The democratic leader might be driven more by high ideals and ideas more than common values. There's a distinction there. The style in a phrase is, "What do you think?" The democratic leader is going to draw into the conversation the thoughts of as many people as he or she can. Their underlying emotional intelligence competencies involve collaboration, team leadership and team building, again, communication. You can't have a democratic system if information is hidden away with only a few. Communication and information is shared freely in a democratic system. This style works best when you want to build consensus, when you want to build what we call buy-in, when you want members of the team to have bought into the idea, to the vision, to the purpose of the team, to the team's objectives. This style works best when you want to get input from valuable employees. The overall impact of this style on the climate of the team will be positive most of the time. The next style is the pace-setting style. This leader's preferred method is to set high standards for performance. And in a phrase, they will say, "Do as I do, now." Or, "Come on, keep up with me." The underlying emotional intelligence competencies of this style are conscientiousness, drive to achieve, and initiative. Initiative means not waiting around for somebody else to act, but to act first, to lead the way, to run out in front. And this style works best to get quick results from a highly motivated and competent team. If the team is highly motivated and highly competent, they will be able to keep up with the leader as they run out ahead, setting a fast pace for the team. The overall impact on the climate of the team of this style, however, can be negative. It often is negative, and let me tell you why that happens. I mean, it sounds like setting a pace, "Come on, keep up with me, let's go, we're going to move forward fast," would be a positive thing. And yes, it is a positive thing in those situations when you have a highly motivated and competent team. But it becomes negative when the team itself is not highly motivated at that time, or it lacks certain competencies. What will happen then is that your leader will run ahead of the pack, saying to people, "Follow me, come on, keep up with me." But the team itself is not ready to keep up. You'll have a leader then who runs far ahead of the pack, leaving people behind. This is a negative aspect then that rises from the pace-setting style if it is the only style that the team leader uses, or uses this style at the wrong time. Pace-setting leaders can tend to be impatient with slow learners, and will, if this is their only style, they will easily choose to leave someone behind if they aren't keeping up, especially if they think that slowing down will jeopardize success. So if pace setting is your preferred style of leadership, you'll want to balance your leadership toolbox with some of the other more positive, overall positive styles of leadership. And the sixth and final leadership style that we'll talk about today is the coaching leadership style. And this leader's preferred method is to develop people for the future. Their style, in a phrase, is, "Try this. How about that idea? How do you think that will work? Do you want to try something new?" Their underlying emotional intelligence competencies are to develop others, to have empathy with others in the level of knowledge or competency that they have currently, and to develop them, and then self-awareness. This style works best to help an employee improve performance or to develop long-term strengths. This style has an overall positive impact on the climate of the team because it strengthens individual team members to be able to do better. And when individual team members are doing better, or when all team members are doing better, the team itself will do better. Coaching not only works on the individual team members, but can help to develop performance and long-term strengths of the team as a group. So this leadership style can help to lead individuals and groups both. Those are the 6 leadership styles, and if you want to read more about them, or an article by Daniel Goleman, here is the reference where you can find it in the Harvard Business Review. I have also uploaded this article into the RTG training module, so you should be able to download this article and read it for yourself. Thanks for listening in.